Hey everyone, my name's David and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new LEGO Super Mario expansion sets. You know they're expansion sets if they have the green line on the bottom of the box, and it even says expansion sets. We're also going to be taking a look at the power-up, so this is something to enhance your LEGO Super Mario, and also these buildable LEGO Super Mario figures that come in this bag. There's 10 different figures, so we'll be unboxing all of this here in just a few minutes. But first, I want to remind everybody that if you haven't already, I made a dedicated video on this right here, the LEGO Super Mario figure and the starter course, which you need actually to utilize all the sets that I have in front of me right now. So without this and that set, you won't be able to use any of that. So I'm going to go ahead and put the card on screen right now. Go take a look at that video if you haven't already, because I unboxed this Mario figure. I give you my first impressions about that and exactly what the LEGO Super Mario theme is trying to achieve, because it's not a normal LEGO theme that we've seen in previous years. So cards on screen, go take a look right now. Come back. All right, so you've watched the video hopefully by this point. Let's go ahead and dive into these expansion sets. So there's a lot of things going on here. A lot of different Mario lore, that's for sure. Tons of different characters. This big set I have here behind me is Toad's Treasure Hunt. This is one of the bigger expansion modules. There's also like Bowser Castle, and there's also a few other big sets like this that will be coming out when the LEGO Super Mario Wave launches in August of 2020. I don't have prices on any of these sets. I think they're to be determined, but we also have this right here, which is the Boomerbill Barrage. I think this actually looks pretty exciting. I think a lot of fans will like this, and also the Piranha Plant Power Slide. So this is actually not really directly taken from the LEGO Super, or not the LEGO, but the Super Mario games. This is kind of just LEGO's take on kind of creating some fun games with this LEGO Super Mario figure. But there's definitely a lot of tidbits for Nintendo fans with these right here, these collectible minifigures. And then this is also pretty new stuff for Mario, which is these power-up packs. This one in particular is the Cat Mario, so this is obviously making him like a cat, and so it changes things when you take off his pants like that on the Mario figure, as well as of course switching out the hat. But we'll take a look at that in just a second. So let's go to a top-down, open these expansion sets. I'm going to give you my first impressions. This isn't a review video. Review will probably come in a month or so whenever I have the final sets. The sets that you see in front of me have been provided by LEGO. They are pre-production samples or prototypes. They weren't very clear, but I don't want to review something that isn't final. So for example, the software in the Mario, or maybe even the sets, are just not quite there yet. I'm not sure, but without ado, let's go ahead and change the camera angle, and we'll start with our smaller sets and make our way up. All right, so we'll start with this power-up pack. This was actually just recently announced back in, I think, early June, late May. So these are interesting. I'm curious to see exactly what happens when you put them on your LEGO Super Mario. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what comes in it. It's, I believe, $10 for this. It doesn't come with too much. It's honestly, you're paying a lot for just the pants. Oh, it's even got a little cattail. How cute. And this right here, we take his pants off. I love his reaction when you do it too. Let's take that hat off. So there's just Mario without anything going on here. And then let's see what happens when we put the... so it does react. That's really cool that it immediately reacts and it realizes it is the cat suit. So that's really, really cool. And then I wonder if it also recognizes the hat. Yes, it does. Wow, that's wild. Cool. So I guess it just reacts differently when you play it through the course. But there's our Cat Mario. It looks pretty cool. I do actually like the way it looks. LEGO has really thought these things out. All right, so the next thing I want to look at is these collectible series of LEGO Super Mario. It even says Series 1 here, 10 to collect. A bunch of different characters that's kind of based off more of the newer games. This isn't going too far back. I know some characters you might recognize from earlier games, but a lot of it's from the newer stuff and probably the past 2010s and all of that. Oh, all right. Oh, it's a lot more pieces than you would expect in this. Wow. All right, so it looks like we got our purple friend here. All right, so here's our little buildable figure. Something you might notice right away is there is the little barcode on the back. So when we take our Mario figure, yep, you automatically recognize it, I guess you can defeat this enemy if you want to, and you get a gold coin, so that's very nice. All right, so our first expansion set, like actual set rather than the power-ups and figures, is the Piranha Plant Power Slider. I think this is probably a set a lot of you will pick up on day one with your starter course. It looks pretty fun. You get a lot of cool characters, like, of course, Koopa Troopa and a Goomba, and of course a Piranha Plant, which is not the most exciting thing in the world, but it is definitely really cool. Just a reminder, I covered this in the starter course as well, but you have to use your smartphone to build these sets, which I think is a drawback. I think we should get at least some basic instructions to build a basic course in the set if you don't have access to a tablet or smartphone at the time of getting the set. Maybe your little brother, maybe your parents are busy and can't let you borrow the tablet or smartphone. Anyhow, let's go ahead and open this up. And there's everything. So it does come with a very simple instruction booklet, which literally just says, hey, go get the app. But as you can see here, there is actually a good amount of pieces here compared to other, especially the starter course, compared to other Super Mario sets. This actually looks more substantial in terms of the building, which is nice. So let's go ahead and get that app going. I'm going to go ahead and build this set. So just one thing I want to note about the expansion sets comparative to the starter course. The starter course, when you open the app, it kind of already guides you through how you build that. This, on the other hand, in the app, you have to actually go into this button on the top right corner, find the set that you have. So you can see there's a whole bunch of different Lego Mario sets, and it even has the power-ups that we were shown earlier. But you find the set, so this is obviously the Piranha Plant Power Slider, and you open this up, and that's how you get to the instructions in order to build the set. So just wanted to make that clear to everybody in terms of how this works, but the app will guide you through and will also tell you, how to interact with this with your Mario figure as you go along. That's kind of the point of the digital instructions, is it's providing more feedback than obviously paper instructions would in terms of playability factor with this particular set. So I understand why it's here. It is just a little upsetting that they even kind of include like this basic paper instruction. I just wish you could get just the basics to build this and then be like, oh, hey, in order to play with this or learn how to play with this, use the app. I am a little upset that you have to use the app in terms of the instructions in case you don't have access to that. But all right, so I finished building the Piranha Plant Power Slider. It's actually pretty unique in terms of how Mario reacts to this set. It's pretty cool. I'll go a little bit more in depth at the end of the video, but first I'm going to go ahead and continue building these expansion sets, both with the Boomer Bill Barrage and one of the biggest that I have here, the Toad's Treasure Hunt set. So both of these also look exciting. I'll compare them against the Piranha Plant Slider and see what I think in terms of which one is like the best playability, or what do the bigger ones offer more playability than the smaller expansion sets. So we'll go to that in just a few minutes. We'll go ahead into a time lapse of me building these other sets over here. So let's go ahead and see that, and then we'll come out and see what all these expansion sets do for your Lego Super Mario experience. Okay, so I have built all of the expansion sets. It's actually been a few days, the magic of video editing. I actually have the prices now for all these sets, including the starter kit. I knew beforehand that was $60, but now that I know the prices, I do have some feelings. Again, I'm not going to review these expansion sets because I will be getting the final product sets when they launch in August, and these are still technically prototype sets, even though they pretty much look like the legitimate finalized versions with all the features and printing that you would expect in a Lego set. So there's not really anything different compared to the prototype sets to the final production sets that you guys will be picking up if you choose to buy these sets. But of course we have the Boomer Bill Barrage, Piranha Plant Slider, and Toad's Treasure Hunt. This is $70, and these two are $30 each. $30 is a lot to ask for these sets, the smaller ones especially. Toad's Treasure Hunt feels a little bit more worthy of the $70. Personally, though, out of all the expansion sets, I don't even have it. I think Bowser's Castle, which is the most expensive at $100, is actually probably the one that's the coolest in terms of actual Lego building. It's the coolest to display, and it honestly, based off the videos that I've seen of it, have really cool functions. Not to say that any of these right here don't have good functions. So all these sets play their part in terms of expanding your Mario course. So with Mario, I love when you actually shake him. Like, he has gyroscopes and all those sensors and stuff inside of him. So when you pick him up, he makes noises, and when you walk, he also makes noises. It's kind of funny, actually. It's very ingenious. You know, it took me a couple days of kind of realizing exactly what Lego's master plan with Nintendo is here with the Super Mario line. I'm finally kind of understanding it. It's not really about building Lego sets and displaying it. Obviously, you can do that, but it's much more engrossed in the playability of all of this and the addiction, and I mean addiction, of building your own course and making it the coolest possible. And that's the thing. So once you spend that $60 for the starter course that comes with Mario, and also the flag and the starter pipe, which you actually need from that set as well to make all of these expansion sets work. Once you have that and you start playing around with the starter course, you are definitely going to want an expansion set. One of these, or of the whole bunch, or maybe you want a power up or the buildable figure. It's up to you. It depends on the characters you're interested in. Personally, I gotta say, these are a little expensive for what you're paying for. At first I thought these were $20 and Toad's here was $50, so you're paying the Nintendo tax. Again, I'm trying not to review these sets because they're not fully finalized. Like, the sets are finalized, but like the functions in terms of the app and how Mario interacts with them, that might change till August. So I don't want to fully review these sets, but again, first impressions, first thoughts, that these are cool sets. They'll definitely add to your Mario course. So if you like, when you get the Mario, if you like the functionality, the playability of building your own course, then these will definitely probably register the $30 being worthy in your mind in terms of adding that playability. And I really feel like these sets are definitely, and just the entire Lego Super Mario line is really intended for kids, not for people my age. I don't think a lot of people my age will be picking these sets up unless they're Nintendo fans. I think a lot of adults and teenagers will probably pass on these sets. I think some adults will be interested in the Lego Mario figure and might pick up the starter course and maybe Bowser's Castle or Toad's Treasure Hunt, one of the more advanced sets. But everything else is kind of just more intended for kids. I mean, it's very, similar to a lot of other toy lines where they have character packs to make your character different. It's stuff we've seen in other toy lines by other manufacturers. So Lego's kind of taking those ideas and putting it in their own system, which I don't see why not. Lego can do whatever they want, but it makes sense. And I think when if, let's say you're an adult out there and you have a young child, once you have a kid that gets the Lego Mario and they start seeing all of these expansion sets, they're going to want as many of these possible. So it totally makes sense from the business perspective. And from a Nintendo fan perspective, I can also see fans wanting to complete their course, wanting to complete everything possible. So their Lego, I feel like, hit the head here very well with introducing a new playability technology with these expansion sets and with the starter course in combination. It all, the master plan finally comes together and it all makes sense to me, and it should make sense, I think, to most of you out there. So my final thoughts on expansion sets is that they are very awesome. They absolutely expand your capabilities of your Lego Super Mario to things that you didn't even imagine, and to really cool ideas that you wouldn't necessarily expect. So I'm very, very impressed with what Lego's done. Are these two things right here worth 30? Is this worth 70? Is the starter course worth 60? Is the power up worth I think it's $10, and I think the buildable figures are $5? No, if you're not a Nintendo fan, and no, if you're not a Lego fan. Because none of this will be super appealing until you actually start playing with the Lego Mario and actually start building your course. Once you do that, then this becomes more appealing and more worthy of the price. So I hope that makes sense. I think a lot of people will be like, what? If you compare this to another Lego set, you'd be shell-shocked about the lack of pieces or lack of this, lack of that. It's really the fact that you're paying for the playability factor, not necessarily the part factor in these Lego Super Mario sets. And again, the Nintendo tax. Remember that. So do I recommend these sets? Again, I'm not reviewing them, but in terms of first impressions, I think a lot of you Mario fans and younger fans will absolutely enjoy the playability factors and the nostalgia of a lot of different Lego, or just a lot of different Mario games. So I'm impressed with what Lego has done here. Bravo. It's different. It's not the normal Lego minifigure scale. It's not the normal Lego sets that you come to expect. It's something different, and I give Lego kudos for trying something different. So let me know what you guys think of these expansion sets. Will you be picking up Toad's Treasure Hunt? Will you be picking up the Piranha Plant Slider, Boomer Bill Barrage? Are any of these of interest, or maybe as another expansion set? Or is just this entire Mario theme just strange to you? I'm definitely curious down below to see what you guys have to think. Hope you guys have a great, wonderful day. I'll see you guys in another video. Bye-bye.